Rodgers had some things to say on Monday about his offseason, his focus on mental health, and that's great. Look, sports are becoming more and more sensitive to the reality that the athletes are under a ton of pressure. There are all sorts of issues and challenges that they have to deal with all the time. Doesn't matter how much money you're making. You're still human fundamentally, and there are very human issues that go along with it. That's great. But there's still a mystery, a so-called beautiful mystery about Aaron Rodgers' future with the Green Bay Packers. 3 weeks from today, it's time to show up for training camp. Will he be there? Will he not be there? No one still knows what the answer to that question is. And the press conference at which he made the comments on Monday about mental health, I saw one article about it so far. There may be more, but there was an item at ESPN.com from Ben Baby with the quotes, the key quotes from Rodgers about why he's focused on mental health this offseason. But I can't find the actual press conference, the full version of it. I assume he said nothing about what his plans are 3 weeks from now, because I assume that would have been a much larger headline than the question of what he was focused on throughout the offseason, because everybody wants to know, will he be back? I still think he'll be back, but I'm as in the dark as anyone else who doesn't have true inside information. I assume his agents have an idea of what he's going to do. I assume his fiancée, Shailene Woodley, has an idea of what he's going to do. I assume his head coach, Matt LaFleur, knows whether or not he's going to be there. And as we suggested a week or two ago, I think some things that Matt LaFleur said before the OTA process ended in Green Bay, I think based on those things, he believes that Rodgers will be there. Regardless, we won't know for 3 more weeks. Vegas, or at least the PointsBet Sportsbook, I don't know that they're making a prediction as to whether or not he's going to be there. They put the win total back on the board for the Packers earlier this month, July, at 9. I say take the over on that because I think he will be there. And if he's there, 9-8, I think they'll be better than 9-8 if Aaron Rodgers shows up. Now, one thing that may make it harder for them to be as good as they were last year when they were 13-3, or the year before when they were 13-3, the fact that Rodgers apparently hasn't done any work with his receivers, his pass catchers, his teammates, that he'll be, if he shows up, forced to try to accelerate that process. I mean, you think about it. Tom Brady spent a lot of time working with his guys. Even though a lot of it was away from the facility, he's working with his guys, getting ready for the season. Rodgers, my understanding, hasn't had off-site, unofficial workouts with his teammates. Remains to be seen whether or not they're going to get together in the next 3 weeks. But Rodgers golfing today. I presume he's going to be at the American Century Championship Pro-Am tournament this weekend. It'll be televised by NBC in Tahoe. And then you got 2 weeks until training camp opens. How ready will Rodgers be? I saw a video of him golfing yesterday. He still looks a little on the skinny side. Is he going to be ready to take the pounding that quarterbacks take, especially as they get deeper and deeper into their 30s? A lot of questions. And eventually we're going to get answers. 3 weeks from today, the simplest yes or no question to start the process will be answered. Is he going to show up for training camp? Either he will or he won't. And if he doesn't, then what? And if he does, then what? Because I still think deep down, Packers CEO Mark Murphy would prefer that he not show up. Got no inside information on that one either. But I just think that Murphy, the guy who surely signed off on the drafting of Jordan Love in 2020, may be ready to turn the page. May be hoping that Rodgers doesn't show up and then he becomes the bad guy. The fans are always going to line up behind the laundry, especially in Green Bay, where plenty of fans own a piece of the laundry because they're shareholders. If Rodgers doesn't show up, he gets the Brett Favre treatment by the fan base, quite possibly. Because even though Rodgers has a legitimate beef with the Packers management regarding the Jordan Love thing, I don't get the impression that the fan base is universally lined up behind him and chastising the team for doing what it did. Because you know what? At some point, he's not going to be there. They have to be ready for the future. Now, are they being maybe a little overly zealous about their preparation? Yeah. They didn't need to use a first-round pick last year on Jordan Love. They didn't need to use the fourth-round pick that was the bait for trading up. They gave up 2 picks, a 1 and a 4, to get a guy who stood on the sidelines all last year. And if Aaron Rodgers shows up and doesn't get injured, he'll be standing on the sidelines again this year, not helping the team win a Super Bowl. But the bottom line is, I think Rodgers will be there trying to help the Packers win a Super Bowl. And wouldn't it be a great story if he did, as his final act with the Packers, win a Super Bowl and walk off into the sunset and then get traded within a month to a team like the Broncos or maybe the Raiders or maybe someone else.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.